Start recording. Start streaming. But yeah, everyone, we are in Thailand, Koh Samui right now, and tonight we're just gonna go over a few questions that we had this week, and hopefully just talk a little bit about everything, whatever you guys want. Hope you like the music. We really have no control over it.
Yeah, there's no control of the music,
Zero control.
but
The playlist has been
so
good today.
good, so good.
Playlist was good today.
All right, so guys, just tell you're on Twitch right now, so at the in the right side there's a stream chat, yeah. So just introduce yourself, like, hi, I'm Anton. Right, so so we know who's watching right now,
Very good.
and then if you have any questions, so just pop them in the chat box in there, and we're just gonna answer them one by one.
Right.
And there's no such thing as a stupid question, so just answer whatever you're struggling with, and we're gonna make sure that at the end of this stream you will be able to come back and prepare for Monday and have good success with your trades.
Yeah. So Marco asked early this week, right? Like, he's doing pretty good, and he's asked, like, he would like to know what more can we trade with forex. At one day, I only get a few opportunities per day. With stocks, I think they have a minimum amount to trade that's still not inside my budget. Am I wrong? Definitely not wrong. So the thing is, often when it comes to stocks and the current way we have access to stocks right now through simple FX or IC markets, yes, with the way we are trading positions and calculating position sizes, there will be some of them we just can't trade because of the account size when it's a small account. In any case, if whether it's a forex trade, or it's a stock trade, you should always, if the position size is too small for you to input in MetaTrader, what you can do is that you can always reduce it from 4 sizes to 2 instead, right? So if you're struggling with, for example, you want to short here and you can't open 4 positions, then just do 2 instead and trade it like this. And if this is still too big for you, well, then go find something else. It's really that simple, because it will not always be the same. The position sizes that we have are always pretty different. As you can see when you're trading in MetaTrader, you will see often that position sizes are different, and it really depends a lot on the market structure. And so if we want to find more trades to take, the best you can do is size down to two positions instead of 4. And if that's still too big, well, you're just gonna have to wait a little bit until you can do it. But that said, in IC markets, like, we have access to a lot, right? There's a lot to trade, and there's also a lot of metals, like all of this that we're looking at here, like all of these here below, they're stocks. That's correct. And then we start to get into a bunch of different contracts, and then we have some crypto, and these are indices. Overall, you should be able to find a lot of here to trade, even if your account is just $200. So sometimes there's just not going to be all those trades to take. And what you have to remember is that we are not looking to trade like other people are doing. We are looking to make money. So sometimes it's just a limit to how many trades to take, because we're only looking for really, really good opportunities. And you will see that they're just not always there. And what difference us between the losers is that when there's not a trade to take, we just don't take it, because we don't want to lose money. We just want to make money. That's really the key point here. So if you can't find something, well, then there's nothing to take. But that said, I always manage to find trades. Like, if I go right now and I go through just my forex list here, and this is not even all of the forex pairs this is not even the complete forex list from IC markets. There's a bunch more. But if I just start looking, like, I'll always be able to find something. I'm just gonna have a look. So we got a potential long here on AUD New Zealand dollar, right? And that is a trade ready to take immediately. Nothing here. Oh, sorry, I'm on weekly right now. Let's look at AUD, New Zealand dollar again. Nope. Not really here. I mean, this one is getting pretty close. Like this one on Monday will probably gap up. So this is something I would already prepare to short down. That's a good trade. So this one is ready, and this one will get filled Monday or Tuesday. I'm pretty confident on that. And here's a trade ready to take immediately. And here's something from the old stream. But this is Euro. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, repeated trades from the last webinar. You can see what happened with this one. Like, goddamn, this is such a beautiful trade. You know, people got chopped up. Like, there were people that has been the 20th of September until like the 1st of October. They just been trying to trade this, trying to find an entry for where the market's gonna go up. And for us, it's just very simple. Like, the algorithm just found it, and it was only after this got filled that we saw
we saw. I asked them to turn on the music. Sarah said the music is too loud.
Yeah, sure. It was only after that this area was filled. Anton, try to turn that knob. Maybe that knob will do it. To the left, the big one. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
That was easy.
That's very easy.
All right.
So this is a really good example, because you have to remember, guys, when we trade, there's a lot of us that when we trade, our position sizes do not move the market. We as traders do not move the market. We are dependent on other people to move the market for us. We're dependent on other people to come in after we buy to move the market for us. So what we try to do is we try to identify points in the chart where it's very likely that we can buy cheap and someone else will come in and buy higher than us, moving the market up for us. So in this case, this was just a spot on trade. Like, this great trade. And it hit target 1 and target 2 in like 2 days. It's beautiful. And what's gonna happen now, in my opinion, it's probably gonna do something like this and then come back down, and then we're gonna repeat this trade again and just milk that money. Just keep it going. And then what's important is that what happens at this level. I mean, like, what's very important next is what happens on this next level here. Because if this market comes down here, fills us again, we repeat the trade, we take 50% off here, well, we're gonna move the stop loss from down here to the entry, and no matter what happens, we'll make money on this trade again. But what will be really exciting to see is that if it comes back up and then start to consolidate here and then move up. Either way, we're looking to make money on this trade again. So there's always opportunities. The only question is how much time and how much money do you want to make? When people ask me like how many trades I take, well, I'm a pretty busy guy right now. There's a lot of things I'm doing, but usually Monday I will just look at whatever the market has to offer me, and I'll just be looking to take that. Like this Euro Norwegian crown, that's looking great. Like I originally wanted to long it down here. I wanted to buy it. It never came down. Okay, well, in that case, a lot of people just got, because they don't get this filled. Well, I'm just waiting for another opportunity, and you can see we're getting the opportunity here now. And originally this trade, it was it's consolidating here, and you have to remember, good trading is built around if and then statements. If the market comes back down here, then I will buy it. Not I think it's gonna come back down. If it comes back down, then I will buy it, right? And in this case, it just didn't come back down here. And then the algorithm was just like, well, you just gotta wait, bro. And then what happened, is then we saw this impulse move up, and now we're seeing another move up. And this is good. This is really good news, because now we can buy it here instead. So what I will do is I will simply move this trade up here and get in here instead. And this is really a key feature, guys, because this allows us to stay in markets and really let the market do its thing, and then wait for the right opportunity to enter the market, right? Because if you look at what happened here, if I kill everything here and I remove the algorithm, what happened here is, if we look at it in a sense, okay, so if we look at the big picture here, we have, let me find this instead. So what we have is that we have a market that's been trading in a range for quite some time, and this is what the algorithm does for you. It makes this entire thing very, very simple for you. So we have a market that's been trading something like this range here, right? So you can see it came up, had a big push up in late 2018 into the new year, got pushed back down again, came back up, got rejected, pushed down, rejected again, down to the bottom of the range, pushed up, down. And now what we're seeing is that now we had this push from the bottom of the range all the way through this time, came back down, up, down, retested this old resistance, which now has turned into a support. And that is what the algorithm also saw. And it's like, if the market comes back down here, then we will buy it. And now what we're seeing is that now this top range here is starting to, this has basically become support now. And that's very interesting, because this is why we're getting the buy signal, because we have consolidated and we have proven that the market can hold itself above this previous resistance. So all of these things are going into the algorithm, all these calculations, all of these market structures developing in the market, it's all happening real time, doing the calculations for you. So my point is, if there's no trade to take, there's no trade to take. But there's always a trade to take, in my opinion, when I'm just looking at it. Now the question is, not all trades are equally good. They're not. Not all trades are equally good. They're definitely not. Because there's some things we just can't code into the algorithm at this point. And we're working on this. We're working on improving and migrating to a different solution. It's a big project. But this is what we have to do if we want to take the next step. It's going to be very exciting.
For those people that started, like, if they're complaining that there's not enough assets to trade, do they have to reach out to the broker themselves to make sure that they get access to everything?
So I think when you're in the demo account with IC Markets, they give you access to everything. But once you register a live account, you might only have access to 180 markets, I think. And then you have to send a mail to IC Markets requesting, hey, can I please have access to the remaining markets, like stock markets and so on.
Because I remember, guys, so I had a issue, like there were really good trades to take in the stock market, and I was practicing on forex markets, but I spotted this good trade on a Snapchat stock, and I went to IC Markets to I went to MetaTrader to execute it, but I couldn't. I couldn't add it, like it wasn't in the watch list, yeah. So just make sure, guys, so you just reach out to your broker, whether it's that Simple FX or IC Markets, just tell them, hey guys, I want to get access to stocks, right? The New York Stock Exchange. I want to get access to, these, Canadian Stock Exchange. I want to get access to options or cryptocurrencies. Depends on your broker. Just make sure that if there's a trade in trading you, just talk to your broker and they'll give you access to it. Yeah,
it's a good point. Hey, let's continue with the some of the questions. Yeah, do we have any?
Let's cover what Dennis asked us, so that maybe if Dennis is watching us right now, thank you for tuning in. Just wanted to make sure that we answer this your few questions that you raised, and that everyone can hear the answer, right? So the first question is 10% a week. So we are saying that.
Dennis asked a question about. Let me just find the exact question.
The exact question is, when you say approximately 10% a week, then what is that based on? Taking 5, 10, or 25 trades, and do you make around 10% every single week? So Dennis is speaking about the amount of gains that you can make on your account every week.
Yeah, I got it here. Okay, so 10% a week. That is like a really ideal number you should strive for. Like if you can do 10% a week, that's really good. Now, why can I do 10% a week and some people can't? Well, I think it's fair to say, like, I developed this trading strategy. Like, I crafted it, I traded with it for a very long time. And network error. Why can I why can I perform better than other people? Well, guys, I crafted this strategy, and those who are with us back May also saw just what kind of we're dealing with. So what we're looking at is really like a mathematical model which is very good at identifying levels in the market, right? But the levels is not the important part in the market. What's important is being able to trade the levels, knowing which levels to trade and which levels not to trade, when to trade, how to trade it, and so on. That is the difficult part. So obviously, I know this technology a little bit better, and what we're trying to do is taking all of my experience, coding it into the strategy, which is available to you guys. But sadly, there's just a lot of things we can't do at this point because we're kind of reaching the limit of what we can push this coding language to, which we have available to us. So we already, like what I'm doing right now, and the reason I'm maybe not trading as much as I could is because that I'm working every day with my co-developer Mike on finding a way to basically allow us to do more. And this requires us to do some big things. You know, we have to set up an entire platform. We have to process all the data, all the price, and the text and price movements, and we have to take that. We have to plot it. Have to make it available to you guys. We have to make it secure. We have to make sure that our source code is not being exposed. And it's a big job to do this. So sadly, this is what we have to overcome in order to improve it even more. But at this point, what I'm trying to do now is that right now we're recording content which will allow you to better understand how the algorithm works and how you can achieve even better results. Because there's definitely a difference between selecting every single trade that the algorithm is showing to you and then knowing which ones not to trade. I uploaded a video about 2 days ago about repeated trades. Because what happens is that we will often be able to repeat a trade maybe up to as much as like 6 or 7 times before it doesn't work. Does that mean that it's a good idea to keep repeating the same trade? Or does that mean it's a good idea to take the same trade on the sixth time it's doing it when you have not been taking the trade the first time, the second time, and the third time it happened? It's not, okay? Because often what's happening in the market is that the market is, always developing, and the market structure is also changing. So as much as the trade is as valid as the first trade, it is just not the chances of being profitable is just not as high as the first time it occurred or the second time it occurred. So that's why I have a bit of an advantage, but we're trying to translate all this, and we can definitely see that is working. So the next question, Dennis, just find it here. See if I can pull it up.
But anyway, like just to recap, right? In simple words, that that 10% a week, if you follow the strategy, if you follow everything to the T, and you don't make any human errors, that's what we should expect.
That's what you should
a range. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've done extensive backtesting all the way back to like 1995, meaning if you ran this strategy since 1995, that's a lot of years, it would have been continuously profitable to do it. There are some black swan events where some currencies are crashing or being devaluated and so on, but the stop loss always makes sure to take us out of those trades. But overall, looking across all forex pairs, and it is something you should be able to make 10% on a week. But the problem with seeing a lot of people is that they see this and they kind of see how easy it is to use, and then they start making a lot of human errors, like sizing positions wrong, or just not taking it serious, or not putting in stop losses correctly, not putting in entries correctly, and so on, and not really paying as much attention as they should, and that results in poor results, because you don't want those. One sizing mistake on a trade can just like mean that your entire profit that you made over 4 weeks will be gone in one trade because you put a zero too much, and that's not good.
Like we have to understand that you being creative will not help you make more money in trading. Like the only thing that you can, the only thing that you must be is very attentive and follow the instructions to the T, and always check yourself a few times. Is your stop loss in the right place?
Yeah.
Did you copy the right values into the MetaTrader? Did you split your positions? Are you skipping a step? Are you getting lazy? Are you skipping? You cannot skip any steps, right? So we're just gonna make sure that it's very clear in our training what are the steps, and we're gonna have some
Yeah.
also maybe
So,
like PDF
and
printouts if you
that's
want.
the thing. We can improve a lot on our end, and we're trying to do that. But it's like we're trying to do a lot of things at once right now, and it's definitely hard for us as well to make sure that everything gets done right and prioritize which are the right areas to focus. So, uh, very happy you guys are with us. Please bear with us while we improve this for you. The next question from Dennis was a $10,000 account. How much of that account would you max put in play? 10 or 20%? So this question is very simple actually to answer. We always risk, no matter what, max 5% of our capital on a single trade. Okay, and that's just the cap of it. So if you have a $10,000 account and you take a trade, the max you should lose on that trade would be 5%. That doesn't mean, however, that we limit the account to like $10,000 or $100,000, because the way we utilize leverage and the way we really make money in this is by doing a lot of trades at once. One guy who's very good at this is Nikham. He's extremely good at going out and finding a lot of different trades, and you've probably seen his screenshots in the group and so on. I shared with you because the power of this is not being able to, it's not trading a single market. The power of this is trading a lot of markets at the same time. However, what's very important at the same time is that you do not overexpose yourself to a single market. So if you're going short on AUD US dollar, right? If you're short on AUD USD and you're short on AUD CAD and AUD CAD at the same time and AUD CHF at the same time, you're not risking 5% per trade anymore. You're risking basically 15% because of how these trades are correlated. So what I like to do is I like to find trades which are opposite of each other, right? So if I'm short on Euro US dollar, I will give you an example. If I'm short on, let's see if I can find it. So if I have a lot of short exposure on Euro USD, where is my boy? Not this page. Here we go. If I have a short trade on Euro USD, well, the best thing for me to do, like if this trade is short, and you can see how good this entry is, like it gets it exactly. And if this trade is short, there's nothing better for me to go out and find a long on Euro at the same time, like Euro New Zealand dollar or Euro AUD. Because what happens to that is that it means if we get any price changes, fluctuations, like if any Fed events comes out or European Central Bank does something, I am hedged, and I will likely complete one trade and then still remain in the other one. And that's the best setup we can look for. Like if you really have to put it in Forex, being able to be long on one part of a pair and short on a different kind of pair while you're looking at the same market, that's just the best you can do. So 5%.
Let me read. Yeah.
5% exposure on 5% exposure for single market is ideally what you're looking for. Yeah.
5%. All right. So the third question is, I think setting up the trades is simple and fast, but I can't wrap my head around 10% a week. If you compound that for a year or two and you're free for life, is there something here I don't get?
Well, 10% a week, in my opinion, is honestly not that much. Because sure, it's great, and if you do it every time for a year, yes, you'll make bank. But a year is a long time. A year is a very long time. The thing is, a lot of people like if we're talking about fund managers trading with accounts like, let's say $5 million, right? You're trading, you have a $5 million account and you do 10% a week. Sure, that's ridiculous. What you have to understand is that you would not be able to take this exact trading approach and apply like that. If you had a $5 million trading account, you would not be trading like this. You would be trading a completely different way. You would take maybe 100K of that or 250K of that and put it into a Forex account, and you'll be fine. Because you have to remember how we use leverage. If you have a 5 million account and you time it up with the 500 leverage, it's just a very big position sizes, and that will impact the market. That will have an effect if you're trading like that. Absolutely. So 10% a week, definitely doable. Definitely doable in my opinion. The best traders I know in my environments are doing more than that, and they're trading multiple markets at the same time. Uh, that does not mean you're going to make 10% every week. There's going to be weeks you're not making money for sure. Absolutely.
The thing is, you have to understand, guys. So whenever you start learning about trading, or you go to forums, or you like read Quora, or you go to TradingView, like most of those people, they don't make money. Like the guys that are really making money, they have their own private groups, and they only hang out with them like amongst themselves, right? So most of the negative comments and information and negativity that you can read online, this is mostly from people that are losing, that are emotional.
Absolutely.
And they just need to release that emotional burden
Absolutely.
online so that other people can cry with them and inflate their ego, right?
And I found that myself. Once I started being profitable. It just didn't help me to stay in the same trading groups I was in, because what these guys are saying also impacts the way I trade, the way I think. They show me, I wake up in the morning, I look at a market, and I have a very specific idea immediately about what I think is going to happen. And then my friend says, well, maybe it's like this instead. And that instantly impacts the way I look at something. And maybe it makes me not take the trade. Maybe it makes me do some things that's just not reasonable to do. So this is also why we kind of been limiting this social activities of Breakfree Trading, because we don't want people impacting each other. We have had some people that has been horrible and doing a lot of human errors, a lot of bad mistakes, and a lot of things that just didn't work. We don't want those people to impact the people who are doing really good on the other side. Instead, we want to reach out to those people and help them directly become better traders and follow the strategy and so on. And the truth is, some people are just not built for this. As much as this is a tool that you can use to make money in trading, it's just, for some people, just not going to work for various of reasons. And this is the hardest game in the world.
Yeah,
we're definitely giving you a shortcut. That does not mean you can skip what we're doing or start adding additional, like I see this a lot. A lot of people has been starting to take this approach and then combine it with some other stuff, some other indicators, and put it together. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. You cannot do that.
Like if less is more.
Yes, exactly. And when I trade, this is how I trade. If you wanna make the results I make, you have to trade this way. You cannot start doing other things. Even something like changing the color on your chart. It actually pisses me off a little bit, because there's a reason I use a black and white chart. There's a reason for this, and this because it's less likely to impact your psychology when you trade. There's a lot of people I know traders who has red and green charts, who has been removing their bits, the trades. They've been moving them just before the market hits them because they get scared. And just by having a chart that's neutral on the colors, like black and white, it helps you a ton. So there's a reason we do it this way, and you can customize it as much as you want, but there's a reason you're not successful then.
Yeah. So yeah, just to recap, guys, it's not about learning more strategies. It's not about using more tools. It's about following what we gave to you, which is the Breakfree Trading strategy, the template for the chart that we gave to you, the colors, everything, the placement, it all makes sense, and it is all kind of designed this way to make you consistently successful, right? And I know it's very tempting if you're a social person, if you crave community. I understand that initially you feel like you discovered this wormhole of, oh wow, trading, this is completely new. I want to connect with other people.
Yes.
I want to learn more. Why don't I go to YouTube? Why don't I listen to that guy? And then why don't I talk to this person and share my wins and all that? And I understand that's we as human beings, we want connection, right? And I just want to stress out that, guys, just follow the system and make this like your little secret. Like only you know about this. This is the right way to trade, and it's no need to educate other people or like combine approaches. Just just do your thing and let your wins speak for yourself, right? So just let your results speak for yourself, so you can have life of freedom. All right.
I'm just gonna wrap up. All of Dennis's first, and then we'll resume.
Yeah, let's come back to Dennis.
So, 10% a week, doable, very doable. What is your feeling about 1 day and 4 hour trades? Is one better than another? Okay. So 4-hour trades, just straight out of the box, I can tell you, it depends on the market. In cryptocurrencies, 4-hour trade, in my opinion, almost equals to 1-day trades in forex markets. It's two different animals, though. It really is. But I can tell you, like, just the other day, I think yesterday or so on, the algorithm suggested shorting Bitcoin at, let me see if I can find it, suggested shorting Bitcoin at 8,437. See if I can find this trade. Up here. It's not displaying it anymore. That's okay. It's already complete, that trade. But on daily, there was just no trades to be found. Overall, the rule is when it comes to forex and it comes to stock market, 4 hours is just less probable to win. This is why we recently have released a new version as well, which reduces the risk that we take on 4 hour to marginally lower risk on those trades. That doesn't mean you can't make money with those trades. It just means those trades they're usually less likely to win. That doesn't mean that you cannot make money with it at all. It's just that for myself and the way I spend my time is on 1-day time frames, and that's because these are swing trades. When you start to enter 4-hour time frames, you're really looking to more do intraday trading. And the secret about intraday trading / day trading is that people don't make money in it. They just it's a different level you have to be on. It's a different amount of time you need to spend in front of the screen. It's two different animals. This is staying on 1-day time frame will help you a lot. Just when you come out of the box and you start to make money trading. So that is the difference between 4 and 1 day. 1-day time frames are more probable to win. I hear when you say you let trades run unless you win a half trade and then move the other one to. Hang on. 5th question. You see it?
5th question. Yeah, let me read it. All right. So I hear you when you say you let the trades run unless you win a half a trade, and then move the other one to buy-sell price to avoid a loss on the last trade. But can't we have a situation where those trades can hover around for weeks then?
Yeah.
So Dennis is,
Sure we can. And that is the beauty of this, because you have to understand, while the price is hovering around, let me find an example. USD CAD is a beautiful example of this. USD CAD. Let me go find this trade. It's a while back. It's been taking some time. So, USD CAD. So this trade, just gonna complete it here. This trade took a long time.
How long?
I guess it consolidated in this area about almost 2 weeks or something like that, 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is that, guys, during those 10 days, there's a bunch of people out there losing money. Like what happens is that people over leverage, they use too much, they take too much risk, they just lose, because the market is not really, it doesn't really have a solution yet to where this is going. So, and this is why it keeps chopping. And chopping is probably the most expensive thing that can happen to your account. I can tell you this from personal reason. When you're sitting and you're trying to guess, oh, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, and what happens is that you're starting to lag behind the market. So the beauty of the Breakfree trading system is that we choose a trade and we let it run until it either completes or it stops us out. So we're not getting chopped up. We don't change our opinion during the trade. Like, oh, now it's going to go up, now it's going to go down, now it's going to go up. This is what helps us to make money. It helps us to avoid this, and this is why we have a generous stop loss in forex, for example, with a risk reward of 2 to 1, because it helps us to make sure that we don't get stopped out during chop. And when we finally get stopped out, it's because we were wrong, and that's okay to be wrong. It's cost of doing business. In this case, you can see that the trade, it consolidated here for quite some time, moved up in a stop loss, and this will happen a lot. A lot of times we'll be sitting in loss for maybe the first day, second day, even the third day, and then there's a big event, and this is what we're waiting for, and this is where we get out. And you see we take 50% off here, and we get stopped out of the trade. So yes, it's entirely possible that we will have a situation where we are stuck in a trade for several days, sometimes a week, maybe 2 weeks. But the point is, we don't lose money during that consolidation like everyone else. I noticed that The sixth question.
Yeah, 6.
I noticed that the trades you posted earlier today is more or less from a month. Are you selective, or why don't you take, let's say, 10 trades each month and that's it? I just take trades as I see them. Again, I'm doing the best to manage my time right now. To trade, I have a lot of things. Like I'm managing a lot of things. And doing a lot of decisions on a daily basis. So there'll be a day where I just sit down and, hey, let's see what's on the market. Where I just have a time. I'm like, let's see what's on the market. And the reason I'm really posting trades right now is just to build a proper track record for you guys to see. Like the thing about TradingView, and the reason I like doing it on Trading is because you cannot alter this. I cannot go back and delete a bad trade. This is directly against the way TradingView works. They have a policy in place to make sure no one can delete trades no matter what. And this is why it's kind of acting like a trade portfolio. And I think it's much better. I think it's much better than any MetaTrader export or anything else, because this you cannot alter, and it shows the trade, it shows what happened and what happened afterwards. That's why I like to use it. You're right, Dennis. $200 a month for this is absolutely a steal. You do need an account. Like you do need capital to trade with. You cannot just put in $200 and that's for the monthly subscription. Like, yes, it costs money, and this is not for everyone. Sometimes I think it's much better for people, to go out, get a job, save up money, and then start to make money. Whether you want to start a business or you want to start a trading account or you want to do something, a lot of times what you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to grind a job and save up money and then go execute what it is you wanted to do. That's just how life is. That's how I made it. That's how Anton made it.
The thing is, guys, I mean, we're still trying to understand what type of people are going to be joining Breakfree Trading, right? But this, from what we see, the people are from all walks of life, right? So they could be a person that already has a business and they just need to offload their capital somewhere to make sure it's not stuck in the bank, but they can actually grow it, right? So they can, they can turn to trading, and for them, $200 a month, this is nothing, right? And there's some people that really just put everything, all their hours of the day, just to learn this and make this their only source of income. And props to those people. And we're gonna make sure that our algorithm is very accurate, and that you don't have to worry about. This is not gambling for you. This is a really steady source of income every week.
That's what we're aiming to do.
This is what we're working on.
That's what we're trying to do here, and that's why the approach is like the approach is. But again, you have to understand, no one else is doing this. There's a bunch of people out there that's trying to sell you trading courses. They're trying to sell you all kind of different things. This is very different. This is a very different approach to trying to teach people how to trade. What I want to do is I want to unload a lot more information on you, but I want to make sure that it's done the right way. There's a lot of recordings I've done, I just thrown them out because they're not good enough, or it's not the right way, or it's the wrong angle, or something like that. And it's difficult for us as well to make this happen, but I think we come really far. I think we've done a really good job so far. And
yeah.
What do we have?
Wait, can we...
I think we got Dennis covered, yeah?
No. So Dennis also says, so for now I have 15 trades on a demo account going, and I have another 12 trades placed, and that's too many, I guess. But I want to see how many that make it. Hopefully will many of the trades be ending before my trial ends, so I can enter another 20-30 trades for testing.
It's only too many trades if you are too exposed to a single market in one direction. That's only when it's too many trades. Because what you're doing is then you're really starting to over leverage. So you do want to make sure you're not trading too heavy on a single pair. It's just, that's how it will go wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Marco, what about Marco?
I think we covered that. That was about more markets to trade.
Oh, yeah.
But
cool.
Have a look in the Twitch comments.
All right, so in the Twitch comments we have, one moment. So Doomsday revealed. Okay, I tried to input a ticket for an order, and I got an error saying that the market was closed. What times should I be normally trading?
Right. So market's closed during the weekend. And I used to say, well, in the weekend you can trade crypto instead. But the truth is that the liquidity and the volume has disappeared from crypto in the weekend. It's just not there anymore. So
people are not really trading on the weekends as much.
No, but that does not mean you cannot prepare. You can prepare, and when I was trading actively, every Sunday I would sit down, I would review my trades, I would see what went wrong, what went right, what do I need to be careful of, and I would look at the market, I would find new trades, and I would be like, okay, well, Monday morning, if USD CAD gaps down, I'm going to be doing this. If this happens, I do that. It will always be based around if then statements.
So you do suggest to review your trades, review your losers,
Absolutely.
and see what is there any patterns.
Look, you can do this just because we're giving you very good entries and very good targets doesn't mean you can't do more with this. You absolutely can. I'm not talking about adding indicators. I'm talking about learning more about trading, how it works, and there's again something that's extremely powerful, which is the next part of the course that we're working on right now, is naked price action and patterns and candlesticks. And this really all equals down to naked price action, because naked price action is trading basically when you're looking at a market and you don't have any indicators on. Let me just go find something. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, so you're really just looking at this market, and you don't have any volume indicators, you don't have anything on, you don't even have the Breakfree Trading algorithm on. You just look at this and you pay attention to what is going on with this market. And as you become a trader, as you progress, you will start to learn the history of a currency pair or the market you're trading, and kind of understand what's going on. Okay, so in this case, New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, I only have history back to 2009, but clearly it didn't have such a good time in 2008 like everything else. But it's kind of been going like up and down, and you can kind of see where this is going now. Like this pattern is just repeating itself, and that's what you want to look at. You want to look at repeating patterns, and this is psychological market behavior, and this is what you want to start to understand, because once you have grasped this idea of psychological market behavior, how the crowd trades a single market, then you will really start to progress. So you can see how this is kind of happening. So what happened is that, if I'm just making this a little bit more clear, what happened, was that this market was trading in these strange booms and busts, where we're coming up, and I have no idea why this happened. I have no idea whether it's the government or devaluation of the currency or valuation of the currency. I don't care. I'm just looking at what happened, and I can see it's been repeated a couple of times. It's probably going to do it again. So what I see in the past since 2009 is that this market has been moving up to this zone. I can see that it's been moving up to this zone, and then it's been rejected, and it had some really nasty downturns, and then it came back up, and it got rejected again. And this time, so this is very interesting. In 2016, what I'm noticing here is that it did not get as high as the previous times. It only got to here, which makes me believe that this downside to New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc is much higher this time. So I know it's gonna bounce. I know it's gonna bounce when it comes back down here. So what I'm starting to understand here is that I'm seeing, okay, well, this is gonna move down, and then it's probably gonna do something, and it's probably gonna come back up to this. It's probably gonna come back up to this zone right here. Let me make this orange because this is resistance. And then I think it's going to come back down, and in 2022, that's where it's going to break the lows, and the Swiss franc is just going to completely destroy New Zealand dollar. And that sounds pretty fair. I mean, if I thought to think about it, the Swiss franc is a strong currency. New Zealand dollar, not bad. It had its good times, but that's just what I'm seeing on the monthly time frame. This is the big picture stuff. So I'm seeing in the big picture, I'm like, okay, overall, towards the next 2 or 3 years, I'm looking toward the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc will move down, right? So now I'm going to weekly time frame. Now I'm going to zoom a bit more in. I'm going to see what's happening, okay? So deleting everything, and I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing, well, we got some kind of structure going on here. I can't really tell what this is yet, but to me, I know it's in a downtrend. I know it's not doing too good. So what I'm seeing here is really probably a bear flag, something like that, coming back up here, back down, something like this, and then break down into 2020. That's what I think is likely to happen. This is very hard for new people to do. This is very hard just to look at this because what this requires is that this requires screen time, and this is what the professional people have mastered. And you're not gonna learn this unless you just spend a lot of time looking at charts, like I have, and like other people have. So this is why I do have an advantage, because I have spent a lot of time just looking at charts, seeing how price evolves, how price is moving. But overall, what I'm seeing here is something that's gonna probably move a little bit up for the rest of, into next week, or maybe not, but I think it's gonna come back up here. And then I'm gonna look at 3-day, and I'm seeing kind of the same structure, right? I'm looking at daily now. So I'm just zooming in, I'm just getting closer and closer to see what's happening. Okay, come back up, down, probably. I think it's very likely. So I'm gonna turn on the algorithm now. I'm just gonna see what is it saying. And you know what? That's fucking beautiful. It tells me to short the top of the bear flag, and
that's it.
Show me something else that can do this. I fucking dare you.
Yeah.
And it's just moments like this. I haven't prepared for this or anything. It's just that I can tell you right now, without the algorithm, what a professional trader would be doing here is shorting this exact zone. That exact zone with a, like, this is textbook trading. This is exactly what you would be wanting to do. You would be doing this, and I'm not sure that it would break when it comes back down here, but I'm very sure that it's gonna reach this first TP. We take 50% profit, and we make money. That's all we're trying to do.
So this new content that you're gonna teach the students about recognizing the the patterns, right? So
Yes.
how, after watching that content, will they be able to implement it, or does that require a lot of practice?
It requires a lot of practice and reading the material over and over and over again. There's going to be some PDF material for you to look at, and this is something like chart patterns. I'm going to show you, like,
so it's something more hands-on, so people that are doing this part-time.
Yeah, what you're looking at, what you want to start learning is reading these patterns. These are psychological market behaviors that happens in the market again and again that you want to start recognizing. And then you want to start recognizing these, learning them, and then use them in accordance with the trading algorithm.
Yeah.
You nail this, you put this together with the trading algorithm, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a good time. Because this is what we can't code. We simply cannot code this into the trading algorithm. I hope we will be able to do it on the new platform, and I think there's a good chance. But
this will take time.
This will take time, but not only this is the most important. This is the most important part of knowing how to trade. Is reading these psychological patterns in the market, understanding how the market moves. That's what you want to get to.
So we give you a really good tool, and you can make money with it. But once you learn those patterns, it's going to make things much easier for you as well. But it will take time as we're learning everything new. But don't get discouraged. We're going to release the content.
Absolutely. It's just to understand for people that there's so much more you can do with this. You can become so much better than just this. We're just scratching the surface here. And this is also why we're recruiting people right now, because we realize, fuck, we need people.
Yeah.
Because so we can focus on the important part. And
can we answer one novice question? So Doomsday Revealed asked, is there any specific way you recommend working with Bitcoin for US residents, for people that never worked with Bitcoin, or setting that up, converting and putting it into account, etc.? So people that never worked with Bitcoin before. Are we going to record some sort of video for them, just a step-by-step how to have a
So I assume
Bitcoin wallet?
I assume this is about acquiring Bitcoin and being able to deposit it. The problem is, like, people are just on a mass surveillance in the US when it comes to cryptocurrencies. It's just not pretty at all, and I'm very much against that. So there is a specific way I would go about acquiring Bitcoins and go about trading it. I would not deposit Bitcoins straight from. If you buy Bitcoin, and before buying this Bitcoin, you are required by any way to show your name with identification or any other way that this transaction can be linked to your name. If you're required to do this, then what you need to do afterwards is making the transaction anonymous, and Bitcoin is not anonymous by default. It's not. When you buy Bitcoin, it's very much trackable. The government has done a good job on implementing different ways to track people with Bitcoin. So there is a very specific way to handle this, and I think it requires me writing a guide on it. It's not that difficult. Uh, the first way is using something called Samurai Wallet, which is a Android only application for Android phones, which helps your privacy a lot. And you want to make sure that your bitcoins has really been anonymized before you take them and deposit them into a trading account. Also because it's your money, it's your rights. You should be able to transact with them however you want. In my opinion, that's how I see the world. And if just reach out to me personally if you need help with that. My name is in Telegram. You know how to find me.
All right, cool.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. If you have any other questions, just pop them in the chat. We covered the questions from Dennis. We covered a few other stuff, our plans for the future. So, as we said, we're gonna improve the algorithm. We're gonna start developing the platform, so we can do all this cool stuff that we talked about, the patterns, and make it like very, very, very easy to use. Yeah. For now, just bear with us. Where we're developing our own platform, just we have to use the tools that we have, and we have, we have TradingView, or we have the algorithm. All is required from you is just watch the content, watch it several times, make sure you understand, practice on demo account. As soon as you see you're consistently winning, move to a paid account, rinse and repeat. That's it, right?